Hey guys, this is Moriarty,
And I'm CryptoSpook.
and today we're taking a look at the Dwarves.
Disclaimer, Moriarty is obsessed with dwarves.
This is one of the coolest games I've ever played. I love it. I love everything about it. I have been following this game for months. I've been super excited. It's based off of a series of books called The Dwarves by Marcus Heitz. I've read every single one of them. I'm still annoyed that the fifth one hasn't been translated into English and isn't available for sale yet. So I'm a fan. This game does it so well. It's an RPG, and it's sort of a tactical RPG. You have multiple characters that you can control. Each one has separate powers and things like that. And it follows a really, really in-depth story. Again, it's based off of 5 novels, and they're all big books. We're talking 1,000-page books here. Anyway, so this is a tactical RPG, and it does it so well. It's so good and so much fun. You've got your loot systems, you've got your rank up systems, you've got the combat and specials, and just everything about this game was awesome and is awesome. And I tell you what, this is a game that I didn't want to stop playing, and I continued playing. I went back and played it again. I haven't finished it, and I'm annoyed that I haven't finished it yet.
One thing that I always found interesting about dwarves was they're so tiny, and yet they always built their halls so big.
Mid-age crisis, I guess. They lived for a long time.
I guess that's a good point.
You know, their mid-age crisis would be 50 years long, so...
I've always been a big fan of elves, and Moriarty's always been a big fan of dwarves. So, when do the awesome elves actually show up in this game?
One of the things I've always really liked about this series is that the elves are the bad guys.
It seems more like you're fighting orcs.
You do fight a lot of orcs. The story of this universe is really, really, really cool. There is a world of men and elves, and they are weak and pointless, and they live their stupid little lives. This world is surrounded by mountains, and in those mountains there are thousands of dwarves, and they control these passes into the realms of man, and they live there and they fight against the orcs, and they hold the halls and the doors forever. Over time, because of the weakness of man and of elves, there are almost no dwarves left.
Wow.
There is no one left to protect the halls. You have evil demons and nasty elves coming in and doing terrible things and destroying the world, and this whole story follows one particular dwarf who happens to have a very special lineage about him. He returns dwarves to their rightful place as the masters of the world. It's a fantastic story, and you get to play it. And it's really, really cool. It's super neat. It is awesome to be able to kill thousands of orcs. The game, in order to have and tell its story, will start you off with a much more powerful character than you get later. And you start off with this character who has lots of life and lots of abilities and can take a beating. Later on, you cannot take a beating.
So the tutorial kind of teaches you how to play the game, I suppose.
If you die in the tutorial, then you have left the computer. You are not actually there anymore. One of the things I really enjoyed is that the entire game is fully voiced. On top of that, the narrator is fully voiced. I've never seen that before. You'll have a character talk and they'll say something like, "This is impossible! We shall never be taken down!" And then you'll have the narrator come in and say, "The king stood there and said his proclamation." So it was neat to have that. It's something I haven't seen used before, and it really increases that you're in a story thing.
I kind of find myself wanting to play this because of how cool it looks.
It's so cool. It's so much fun. It's awesome. There's just nothing wrong with this so far. So besides all of the battles, there is an overworld map as you go from story to story. And it is massive.
It looks pretty freaking huge.
Absolutely massive. It's a little bit Fallout 2. As you move from point to point, you have a chance of running into a chance encounter.
Okay.
As you can see, there are question marks. Those are encounters that you know are there, but there can also be random encounters just on the path as you're walking. And every time you stop somewhere, you get a little bit more of the story from the narrator, who tells you what's happening in that particular area. Maybe there's a option to do something, things like that.
They also did a really good job on the voice acting, too.
It's fantastic voice acting. It's a fantastic game. There's nothing wrong with this game.
So how much is the game?
So the game is $39.99, or you can get the digital special edition for $49.99, which includes the soundtrack and a map, making of, that kind of stuff.
I wish they would do something like this for Wheel of Time.
That would be cool, too. I could see playing as Randall Thor and Perrin.
Yeah. That's true. That would make it a really good game.
You could probably make a complete mod for this game. Already has all the things you would need for that game.
And the scenery that I'm looking at here is gorgeous.
The game's super pretty. Some of those random encounters might lead you to being in combat.
And ambushed.
Your main character, however, is weak, and you can do friendly fire.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's unfortunate and accurate.
Yes, I killed myself by slamming a hammer on my main character's head at least once. And you do have to keep the main character alive. I'm not sure that any of your characters are allowed to die.
Who is your main character?
Tungdil Goldhand. Though they call him something else at the beginning, I don't remember. But his name is Tungdil Goldhand. They call him like Beauregard or something. Beauregard.
Beauregard.
And Tungdil is a scholar dwarf. He is a bad fighter. He knows nothing about fighting, but he can read books.
Like a boss.
That is his special power. And it's one of the more interesting aspects of his character is that that's his special power. I read books.
Well, he also seems to be pretty smart because, like, he was trying to figure out the scene of that crime earlier.
Yeah, he is a smart dwarf, and he does some very cool stuff. The story just gets better. I can't say anything without being a complete spoiler. It's worth it, and the story is very, very cool. I can only hope that they continue to take it out as far as possible. There's lots of options for sequels and continuation, modifications, DLCs, stuff like that will only keep it going. It's not like there isn't a story here that they can tell.
How long is this game? Would you say that it is greater than 50 hours?
If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably a 50, 60 hour game, maybe more. I'm sure there's 50 hours, maybe 80 hours, maybe 200 hours. I have no idea. The story's big. It's a big enough story that you could theoretically do 100 or 200 hours out of it. Would it be fun? Probably not. I would say it's probably a 50-hour game. Multiple heroes, lots of skills, there's all sorts of stuff. Bartering and trading, and it's all here. It's a full-fledged, fantastic RPG.
That's awesome.
On top of it, it's about dwarves. In fact, would you like to know what one of their taglines is for this game?
What?
The NPC days of the bearded axe wielders are over. I am just ecstatic over this game. I want to go play it and play a lot of it. It's just so much fun. I like the fact that there are environmental kills in the game as well. You can knock people off of edges. In fact, I ran off an edge in the very beginning, fell to my death for a long time. It was uncomfortably long. I was falling down that cliff to my death.
The combat looks both complicated and awesome at the same time.
And then the character models up close are actually really pretty and really well done. After every battle, you get experience, you level up, you increase your health. You also get to choose special abilities, and you can build up your character all the way to its max level of 10.
So it must take a long time to level up then.
I'm not sure that it necessarily takes a really long time, but remember there's 15 playable characters, so getting 15 characters up to level 10 is not a simple process.
And I guess there's different things you can specialize each character into.
Exactly. So as you go through and start adding to your roster, you may find that you need to have somebody who's specialized at healing.
It really does look beautiful.
It's fantastic. It's one of the coolest games. I am so happy that I've been able to play it. I would have purchased it anyways. The fact that they sent it to me makes me just that much giddier. So there you go, guys. That's The Dwarves. Pick it up. So if you like it, like it. If you don't like it,
You're a bad person.
get the f*** out. Make sure to leave a comment letting us know how much you love The Dwarves. Be sure to check out the Patreon.
Until the next one.